Hello world, and welcome to another stream. After the WWDC 2022 week, full of streams, full of sessions that we watched together, at least they are online on YouTube, so you can watch them together. And we are going back now to the Open Focus Timer. As you can see, this is the summary of Open Focus Timer, the last session from 2 weeks ago, and we're continuing from where we left off. But of course, because we have new Xcode with Xcode 14 available, we have new APIs available, we have a lot of new SwiftUI views available, a lot of things that are new. And because this app is first open source, and also the app is planned to be released when it's finished, and as I'm just streaming once a week, it's quite probable that it will not be finished before September, so I decided I will be making it iOS 16 and macOS Ventura only, so we can use the latest APIs and just learn from them. And we could still try to make it backwards compatible afterwards, but this is a new app anyways, and it's open source anyways. It's for fun also, and it's for me mostly, so I think we can do that, and I'm going to do that. So a quick round of updates, as always, at the start of the stream. First, there's no new articles from me. I'm going to release Swift Evolution monthly soon, I guess next week sometime, but I'm like 1 week late, because basically after WWDC was like a week of pause, both for me and also for everyone on Swift Evolution. There was not much going on there. So I'll be doing that later, and of course from WWDC I have a lot of learnings, and I'm sure in the next couple of months I'll be having articles about that as well. But I'm also in the finishing touches of my app that I'm going to get into beta soon, so look out for that. I might be having something to show off next time, so let's see about that. But make sure to follow me on Medium, on Twitter, and on YouTube, especially on YouTube, because there we have reached 91 subscribers, which is very close to 100, and I could finally rename this and get a proper name. And also, there's much more content now. I have a whole playlist of WWDC 22 sessions, and they are both watch-alongs, so you can watch it from the start to finish, or I have marked, as you can see, with chapters. You can also see in the description. And you can just click the notes and summary, and I have that on each video. You can just click notes and summary, and you can jump right to the end where I'm starting to discuss basically what we learned and going through my notes there. So that way you have like a summary of the session that is very short, and you don't have to watch the full session. Or if you want to watch the session, you have like my takeaways from that and just a repetition or a summary from myself. And I also did a thread. If you missed that, definitely make sure to follow me on Twitter, because I basically, as you can see, read here, I made like a WWDC 22 session summary tweet collection, or to a thread to be more exact. Basically what I did is I tried to summarize from my notes. I looked into my notes and tried to summarize what's really the most important takeaways from here, and I tried to put it into just one tweet for each session. And you can find like all the different sessions here, and I tried to also make like the most important screenshots. Sometimes they were explaining to explain the stuff that I'm mentioning here a little bit more in detail, and sometimes, for example, for SwiftUI, because there was so many new stuff, I basically just added like even more stuff, like multi-date picker, for example. I didn't mention that here because it didn't fit into one tweet, so I added as a screenshot. And for each one I tried to make a summary tweet. And if you don't have the time to watch the full WWDC sessions, thank you for following Shadow Force. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? And if you don't have the time to watch all the sessions, you can just read through my summary, and then you know either the key takeaways or you know which you actually want to watch maybe. So that's also how it's going to help. And they're all up on my YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe on my YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. Let me send the link into the chat so it's easy to subscribe. All right, but we're going to go back to the Open Focus Timer. And this was from last time, the summary. What we did 2 weeks ago was we fixed an issue with deleting category crashing the app. So we had a problem there and we fixed that. And we added a feature to edit category groups. So that's basically a new feature that the app allows to do. And there were no blockers, no learnings last time. So let's just copy over the next steps here. And let's create the new document for today, which is Open focus timer part 26. And let's copy over these steps. So what we wanted to do is changes in category groups don't communicate to the category screen yet. Okay, so we had the category groups and that the ability to add them, but not it's not really communicating to everywhere yet. And we always write warnings for ourselves, so we can basically get back to some things that we didn't want to complete right away because we want to make progress, and then we can like complete these things later. But I want to add a few stuff here first. Change target platform version to macOS Ventura and iOS 16. One issue with that is going to be, because I'm going to switch to that with Ventura, I don't have Ventura installed here, and this is my main Mac, so I'm not going to install Ventura here anytime soon, and at least like until there's a release candidate maybe. But iOS 16 we can use the simulator, and unfortunately I think we can't test the macOS app without having Ventura, so that's like a problem there. But I will try to figure it out somehow, or we will just focus on the iOS app, and then we will get back to the Mac app once the iOS app is ready. And the macOS app, we're just going to make sure that it still builds. But yeah, just trying to focus on the iOS app for now. That's going to be a problem with that, but maybe I'll find a way to fix that as well. Anyway, so that's the plan, and I do want to make use of some new APIs where appropriate. So I haven't checked all the APIs and which ones could make sense for Open Focus Timer. Definitely one that does make sense is we have not worked on the statistics part yet, and of course the new charts library that is shipping with SwiftUI. We're going to use that for the charts in this app, so this is going to be amazing. And also I can imagine we're to use app intents, because app intents allows us to, for example, we could provide shortcuts that you could start sessions and timers even from outside the app, and I think that definitely makes sense, and I had that also planned. So let's go back actually to the Open Focus Timer project. Let's just go through here and see where we can use new stuff. So Pomodoro timer, this is mostly what we have done in a very simple UI, so it's not beautiful yet, but we are showing how much is left. We do have, I think we don't have an auto-completing task name, but I think you can choose the last or something like that. Or I'm not sure about that, but custom length, I'm also not sure if we have that. But then we have categories. Each gets its own editable color and icon. We have implemented that. It's two-dimensional, so we can have like project and task type. We have implemented that, so that's like category groups, basically what they are for. Then we have reflection. Yeah, we have basically when you end the session, I want to have a reflection where you can put a summary, the problems for blockers, the learnings, and the next steps from that, like I'm doing also with all my streams here. And I just want to have that in this app, and we have those fields. They're not looking beautiful, but we had problems with text fields there, so maybe we can change the text fields slightly, because on the latest versions, the text fields have like many more features. For example, you can define the line and number, and then it also automatically gets larger and things like that, which is really amazing. Then the history, check what you've been doing lately, what you've learned and what slowed you down, and statistics. So the history, I'm not sure if we're going to use much of the new stuff, or we need new stuff there, but statistics for sure. We're going to have charts there, and we can use Swift charts. Optional features, sync via iCloud, only if encryption is also implemented, encrypt all text inputs, require a QR code scan. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like export history. Not really something. Implement multi-design chooser for timer screen. All right, so I don't see here that app intents are mentioned. I would say provide, or let's put it shortcuts support. Allow the shortcuts app to start, stop, pause, and continue sessions. And also I want it to be the other way around, that when you when you start a session that you can cause a shortcut to start. Not sure if that's going to be technically possible, but I'm confident that we can find a solution there. So I want basically and vice versa, e.g. a start action to cause a shortcut. So that way, for example, when you start a session that is of a specific type, you can specify it to, I don't know, start the I'm working shortcut, and then change the lighting, or I don't know, it turns on the focus filter. That's also a new feature. Yeah, that makes sense. We could maybe support focus filters. I'm not sure if we need to support focus filters here. I don't know, but let's just keep it that way. So shortcut support is definitely something I plan to have in the Open Focus Timer. But yeah, that's a quick revisit of what what Focus Timer is about, and how we could make use of the latest what we have now with Xcode 14. But let's get started with coding. So let me open the project here. All right, this is Xcode 14. And already we can see that it is still selecting iPhone SE as its first device. I'm guessing that it will remember, though, the most recent device. That's one new feature, I think, that it remembers the recents. And I think it selects the most recent one automatically. I hope that it does that. Also, when we're scrolling, you can see like it's sticking at the top here, which is really amazing. So that's also a new feature in Xcode 14. And I have the feeling that the text is slightly different, but maybe that's just me. Also, the previews are now always live, so when they are started, they're always live and interactive, so you don't have to click the play button to make them live. All right, we have iOS app here. I'm not sure if the preview is going to work for the whole app. Let's switch to the timer feature. Oh, that UI is also improved. Yeah, I like that. All right, timer feature. Let's go to the timer view. Oops. Timer view. Let's get the preview. All right, we can see the preview here. This is looking cool. Let's make it a bit smaller. And it is now on Mac Light Medium. And oh, okay, that's difference now. So we have created the preview variants. And the preview variants just give us that's like for us to, so we can see Mac and iPhone at the same time and just edit them all together. And we might no longer need this. I was also like trying to have dark mode and dynamic type here and different sizes, but they're no longer showing side by side, but we can switch still quickly between each other. So that's kind of still useful. Maybe we do want to keep it. So let's go to iPhone 13 here, and I think I'm going to keep it out, but we have new buttons here. What do they do? So we have selectable, and when I click that, what happens? I have no idea what's happening with selectable here. Do you have any idea? Oh, okay, this makes me select the different views. And then it does select the views also in the code editor. All right, that's selectable, I see. Then we have the live variants where we can interact. I can start, click buttons and things like that. Nothing is happening, but it does work. Oh, Holger, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How's your backup solution? Is it all fixed now? Did you make a decision there? Xcode Preview agent quit unexpectedly. Okay, this is still a beta, so something stuff's still not working. But let's have a look at this one here. Oh, color scheme variants, orientation variants, dynamic type variants. So we did have color scheme variants and dynamic type variants. So let's see what this looks like here. So just put them side by side. But dark mode doesn't really render in dark mode. I mean, I do have a dark mode. Ah, it's because I'm setting it explicitly, so it doesn't work. I'm tired and need to sleep. Yeah, I can imagine that. It's the end of the week and everybody's tired. All right, so we need to change the preview variants code here. Oops. So this was a neat helper, but I think we no longer need it. So actually, I think I'm just going to remove it here. Let's comment it down and let's see what it will look like. without that. So color scheme variants, there you go. Dark mode and light mode side by side. And I can say orientation variants. Landscape left, landscape right, and portrait. That's nice too. And last but not least, dynamic type variants. So you can see all the different dynamic types, and you can see the app does scale. To be honest, I prefer what we had before. It's really nice that we have these buttons now, but the problem is I don't need to see them all, you know? I just need like one here and one there and one there. For example, 3 of them, I just need them. Can we adjust this somehow? Canvas device. Okay. Alright, that's something else. Okay, this is changing everything, basically. And I don't know, this is going to put it on my own real device. I'll just keep the laptop backup for now. As long as my backup disk is not full, there's no real reason to stop that backup. That's true, it doesn't hurt. And also never change the running system. Like if everything was set up that way, just keep it that way until you can get rid of the device. And then you have also the least amount of work that you need to do, right? But I'm not 100% sold on this. So it's really great that we have them, but I want to combine them. Can we do this somehow? Right clicking does not do anything. I can't select dynamic type and change it quickly. That's cool. Oh, that's cool. It's now like easier to change these things. And we did have these, but it was not cool to change them. Can I just change one of them? Oh, I can click them and then they become larger. That's also new. Can I work like this and it will update? So when I just comment this out, yeah, it updates, and I can keep it like that. Switching files. Oh wait, let me do it like that. And then coming back, okay, it returns to the other one. But still, you can highlight one, and then you can focus on that, and you can fix that, and then you can get back to the overview. And I think most of the time you will like highlight one and work on that. That's nice. I just wish that we had both color scheme and dynamic type as a combination. Like I would like to see 2 or 4 of them, let's say 4 of them, 2 here and 2 here, and one is light mode and dark mode, and one is light mode and dark mode, and one is small and one is large text, or even 6 of them like here. So we have not like here, just imagine these 3 are not there, so we have these 6. And this is this column is light mode, this column is dark mode, and these are 3 different sizes. I think that's what my preference would be of an overview, how I would like to see iPhones. Yeah. And in the best case, you can like this. If this was more customizable, for example, I had like one iPhone here, in light mode and dark mode, and then one here again, and then I could switch. I could also put in an iPad and things like that. That would be amazing. But I guess we need to switch around. So if I change this preview variants, maybe we can still keep them, but make them more useful in this new context. So what we were doing is we were setting light mode on time size text size, I mean, but we no longer need these. So the preferred color scheme and dynamic type size, we don't need these two. Although, let me go back. No, we can't see them side by side anyways. Although maybe you could make use of these two, so to switch around between 2 different kinds. So can I also do something like that, dynamic type, and I can just switch. Yeah, it's possible. Nice. So what do I want to see really? What is the thing that is most important to see all the time? Is it dynamic type or is it color schemes? So what I definitely have to switch between is different devices. So like a Mac, iPhone, etc. So I could set up like a one iPhone device, iPhone SE or something, and then a large iPhone. That way I have two different devices I can switch between with one click here. And then I could always show the dynamic type variants, or I could always show the color scheme variants. Which one do I prefer? I think I want to see dynamic type variants, I guess. Because color scheme typically always works as long as you don't do something wrong with your code. But you never know if your text fits properly, so let's do it like that. So I'm going to turn off both anyways. And we just switch around between the different color schemes here. I guess that makes sense. So we can see all light and all dark. Okay, so let's go to the preview variants and remove the dynamic type here and the preferred color scheme. Although we could keep the color schemes and just remove the dynamic types. Okay, so I'm going to have okay, Mac light and Mac dark. That kind of makes sense. The medium I can remove. All right, and let's put two different devices actually. So preview device, this is two different. So we have iPhone 13 and iPhone 8. A default size one, I would say, and a really small size one. And in this case, I could also go different light modes, but no text difference. Okay, so I'm just removing the text sizes. I'm keeping the dark mode, etc. I think that's how I prefer to do it, but of course you can remove everything. And maybe let's change the order too, because we're going to focus on iOS now and not Mac. So let me change these and move them down like that. And actually I noticed that there is no dynamic type support on macOS anyway, so maybe macOS we just show the different modes. So we have just a Mac device, just one here, like that. And for the Mac, we could go with, okay, so it's not updated yet. Let me update the preview. Did not update. So we have an iPhone 13, iPhone 8, and a Mac. Now it's there, okay. So we can go to iPhone 13 light mode, iPhone 13 dark mode with a different dynamic type sizes. And I guess this is Mac. Is it Mac? Kind of confused here. Oh, we forgot to set the display name here. Let's do that quickly. So this is just Mac. Now it should update. There we go. This is Mac now. And if I click that on Mac, we can switch between the color modes. And then we would have light mode, dark mode, and that, if that makes sense. On Mac it does make sense. But maybe we want to make this one be like that, and this one just to show everything, so we no longer need these either. So we have iPhone 13 like that. Let me update again. All right, so we would have iPhone 13, the two modes, iPhone 8, the different type sizes, and Mac, the different modes, because we don't need a Mac variant with type sizes. And it is remembering what I last selected here, so this works. Let me try to restart Xcode. Let's see how that works. Alright, let's start the preview again. Okay, cool things is first iPhone 13 is remembered, the last scheme I selected is remembered. This was not the case with Xcode 13, so this is amazing. It does not remember that I selected color variants here. Okay, that's interesting. And it also doesn't remember that I selected dynamic type here and color variants here. But we have to click these each time once then. This is not perfect, but yeah, it's okay. I could file feedback for these things. How do we file feedback here? Report an issue? Is it an issue? I don't know. You know what? Let me write that down. So learnings or ideas. First is Xcode Previews. SwiftUI Previews. I would say color scheme and dynamic type variants. I want to be able to combine them. So combining color scheme plus variants in a custom way. E.g. I can set up like I want to have color scheme and free dynamic type variants. E.g. color schemes plus free dynamic type variants. So I would have in total 6 previews. Another nice thing would be if I could select that these all, like if I could multi-selecting them so I can see them all. That would be nice. Yeah. Xcode Previews. Multi-selecting the different devices at the top so we can see all previews selected at once. That would be really amazing. Then I would be relatively flexible, even if they don't allow like selecting multiple here. Just by multi-selecting these, this would create already quite a bit of flexibility. Yeah, so one of the 2 variants I think would really improve this quite a bit. And I don't really well, we do support landscape mode, to be honest, so maybe we should also add landscape into the combination. This is just an example anyways. So yeah, I'll go back to the variants that I'm going to use. So we have one dynamic type one, we have one for these, and the Mac. Yeah, this is does not work if you don't select the Mac preview for some reason. If I did select Mac, I have the feeling that it will not compile. Although it should compile right now. Right now it should compile, because we haven't set to iOS 16 and macOS Ventura yet. It does take a while to build. Yeah, it really takes a long time to build. Let me build it for Mac. Okay, it does succeed. Let me update the preview. What will it look like? Alright, here we go. So this is the preview, and for some reason it's both in dark mode, but I did not set any mode here. So it actually should have light mode here and dark mode there. I don't know what's going on. Alright, but let's continue. I have written down 2 feedbacks that I will file with Apple as we are in the beta process. What next? What else can we try out? So I can change the macOS target to make that 13, and likewise the iOS target and make that 16. What just come to my mind is that we can actually merge these 2 targets into one now. So I am going to create a new target, going to select multi-platform and select the app here. And product name is Open Focus Timer. Although I actually want to have this target name not be Open Focus Timer, so I think we need to put something else here. Not sure though. Did I create a new project? No. Alright, we can rename later. I'm just going to call it Open Focus Timer. I'm just going to call it app next time. Or I just set app here and I just renamed the bundle identifier. Maybe that's easier. Alright. This is a new... do we have tests? Yes, I think we do have tests. Let's create this. Alright, it creates tests target and app UI tests target as well. We do not have app tests, so we do have tests in our packages, so we actually don't need these. So I should have selected not to add tests, but if you have tests, you should of course keep them. But now we have one target, and in that one target, we can now have iPhone, iPad, and Mac all together in just one target. And we still can set different things. For example, for macOS, if I want to provide a macOS specific, I don't know, display name, that's what they showed in the session. I can go here and add a condition, say on iOS, I want to have this value, like, I don't know, Open Focus Timer, like Go for Timer, because maybe it does not fit on iOS, I have to make it shorter or something like that, is still possible. But we'll do that later. So for now, I'm going with macOS 13 and iOS 16. Alright. And iPhone, iPad, Mac, that does fit our settings. That's alright. So what things do we need to take over? So let's first set the bundle identifier correctly. Oh, I can't copy this. Oh, it's set somewhere else. That's nice. So it's bringing me right into the right place. And we're changing it to that. And then iOS app, what else do we have here? Did we set up anything specific? We did have iOS entry point, main feature, settings, timer feature, and utility. So we should add them all. That's main feature, settings, timer feature, and utility. Maybe I could select them right here. Main feature, settings, timer feature, utility, iOS entry point, and we will need macOS entry point as well. Where is that? Don't we have a macOS entry point? Alright, let's just add them. Let's just look it up. Yeah, we don't need it. So we don't need an iOS entry point on macOS. Let's see if we can specify that. We can say iOS entry point, and we just need it on iOS. So let's turn off macOS. It works. And you can't see it because I'm in front of you. So let me just make this smaller. Just move it right there. So you can select here and it will set like this. And I just turned off macOS for the iOS app entry point because we just need it on iOS. All right. What else do we have here on iOS, macOS? Nothing specific. But development assets, I removed them, so let's remove them here as well. For the app icon, yeah, it is called app icon. Didn't change anything there. The version, definitely, I don't want to have this. I want to have semantic versioning here, the proper way. Let's go to assigning capabilities. I don't think I have changed anything here. Yeah. It already shows iOS and macOS separately here. That's interesting. Then resource tags, info, build setting. Let's go to the build phases because we have set up, of course, all our build scripts. And the cool thing is now we can just set it up in one place and we don't have to have them twice. So let's copy them over. I'll start with Barty Crouch here. All right, let's move it up. This is the first. Second is SwiftGen. And if you're watching this quite late, we have set this up in one of the first, oops, this is SwiftGen. We have set these up in one of the first streams of the Open Focus Timer. So just check out the playlist on YouTube on Open Focus Timer, and you should be able to see how we have set this up and why we have set this up and what every of these script is doing. I was going quite into the details there. And Swift links. All right, that's all I think. We do have Xcode as well. Let's add that. Don't know why I'm doing that last, but I guess that was recommended. Xcode like that, I think. So what does Xcode do? It just sorts your stuff here inside of the PBX project file. And you don't really see it affected here, but in the PBX project file, it just reduces merge conflicts if you're working in a team. So as this is open source, I think having something like that definitely does help out. All right, so we have more binaries linked on iOS, and here we have 5, and compile sources even 2. Oh, it created new files, so maybe we need to remove them. Okay, and also the app entitlements, let's make sure they are the same. Yeah, they are the same. The app, interesting name. And these are the actual app stuff. But we do have 2 app folders now. What's going on there? Let me just have a look. This looks like here. And it is merged. Okay, it is just 1 folder. So we can just move these files around. App assets, it's good that we had a different name for that. Open focus timer app. App.entitlements. I think we just need that for macOS. But maybe we just move it here and we just link it on macOS. Okay, it's not even mentioned there on iOS, so is it here? Entitlements? Does it have different values per? Can we? How can we get only iOS here or only macOS? I think it's not possible. Not sure if it's possible. Maybe here somewhere, but we're not copying them anyways. But we can definitely change this with these two. So we want to have app assets and this. So let me just go here, select this app and app assets as well. Let's add that and let's remove this entirely. Let's hope that this will find. Yeah, it is already finding the app icon, so that's nice. This should be linked also with the app. These are now linked. All right, this doesn't need to be linked, and I think this one I can remove entirely, and the preview content and all this stuff we don't need. So I'm going to delete these folder, the references. I should have deleted the files. All right, this was preview contents was part of that. Content view was part of that. App.swift was part of that. And I believe we have macOS entitlements here. This can be deleted. And we're just going to keep the app entitlements one. I think that's it. Let's remove that. App tests and UI tests, we don't need these. Let's remove the trash. These were created. We shouldn't have created them in the first place. But I think that's it. Let's sort this by name, by type, which sorts it by name as well, by the way. We have one more thing we can do. We can get rid of these all, and we can just say we have one icon that is 124.24, and I think we can just select this to be the one icon. I'm going to do everything step by step. So this is the new target that we have added. Let's make sure that this builds. So let me check for a few more things. Is there anything we added here? I can't really see anything new. Specific application requires iPhone. I don't think we have changed anything here. So this might just be the defaults. Build settings, base SDK. Yeah, I'm just going to try to build this. So let me see what's going to happen if we try to build this new app target. Let me build. I'm expecting something to crash. But sometimes magically everything just works. Looking good so far. Oh, it's cancelled. Why? Not getting any warnings? Okay, run script build phase will be run during area build because it does not specify any inputs. To address this warning, either add... Okay, we're getting new build script warnings. That's interesting. Okay, so we have new options in the build scripts themselves. So body crouch, we do we want it to run every time? Based on dependency analysis, build skip script in incremental builds if inputs, contexts, or outputs haven't changed. Inputs, contents, or outputs. So what are the inputs? The inputs files for body crouch is basically every Swift file here. Or is it? Yeah, kind of is. So in this case, I think I'm just going to remove this checkbox. Will force run. Yeah, that's what we want for this one. For SwiftGen, this is based on localizable files. Maybe we can put these as input files and just say our language supports the strings, but we do have also translations here, do we? Resources. Yeah, we do have localizable here. So these two, either on app/language support.strings. I don't really know why we needed that. And I think we don't need it. I think this was to make sure that this was a workaround for an Xcode bug. It did not recognize that our app supported multiple languages if we didn't have in the app target a file that had multiple languages. So for some reason I had to put that. So we don't really need this as an input. Instead, all of our stuff is inside sources / resources / localizable. It's basically the input file path. And whenever one of these change, we wanted to do its stuff. Input file lists, input files. What's input file list? Oh, an exe file list file. All right. I hope it does match everything below that. I don't know if it does. Let's Google that. Xcode, build script, input file, glob. Let's see if it supports glob or something like that. This is makefile based. I don't want to have this. I want to have Xcode build script for them. Let's search on Google actually. Using a bash glob and run script build phase. Let's remove the glob. I think that's not really needed. Input folder. Let's put input folder. This is the same question. Running custom scripts during a build. Maybe the documentation does have some answer here. So it's saying add a new, okay, enter the shell script, specify input and output files. Individual files. All right, quick break and I'll be back right after. So make sure to get some fresh air and stretch if you're watching alongside me, and I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and we were just reading up how we can set up the input files properly. So we do have the option to specify an exe file list. With that file, the files can be easy to edit in a particular use, so if you change a list of files. Actually, currently our input files are quite easy. It's just localizable. We just have 2 of them, right? So maybe we should specify them for now. And we just say like this. This is one, and the other is like that with English. And this is going to, I think they have made a lot of changes this year to improve the performance of builds. And this is one of the things that, of course, improves the performance of builds, because you can simply skip this step entirely if one of these files don't change, and they don't change all the time. So it does make sense a lot, to be honest, to have these. So input files, these are our 2 input files. I think that's it for SwiftGen. An output file, of course, let's specify that as well. I don't know how important that is. Derived file dir. What is that? Source root is clear. What is that? Okay. Xcode. Xcode dir names. What was this? Xcode settings. There was this website with all the build settings. There we go. I think I can find that here as well. All right, derived file dir, path is target temp dir, device. No, that's not what I want. It's not what I want. Output files, yes, actually source root. And then sources / resources / swiftgen / assets.swift. And the other one is strings.swift. I don't know how important that is. Let me read this document further. There we go. Alright, I think that should be right. Just having these output files here. That's SwiftGen. By the way, body crouch, does that have output files? In theory, all the localization files are output files. So just copy and paste that and go with resources / localizable / d.proj / localizable.strings. I don't know if that's really useful if we're running it all the time anyways. But let's just put them here in case we need them anytime. Then they will be here. What else is it putting out? Is it putting out anything else? I don't think so. Yeah, that's about it. We don't have interface builder here, so that's body crouch, that's SwiftGen, and Swift format is also working on all Swift files, so I think this should run all the time as well. SwiftLint, same. Although I know that SwiftLint did have, let me read that up, did have a mention about how to set up input files, output files. Maybe we can learn something from there. Input, there you go. Specify a list of files when using lint or analyze, like the list of files modified by Xcode. or modify files in a working tree based on this. You can do so by passing the option use script input files and setting the following instance variables: script input file count and script input file 0. These are similar ones set for input files to custom Xcode script phases. Spinning up custom script phases. Alright, so alright, so this is all about build time, and I think SwiftLint is really fast anyways, so I'm just going to keep that as is. Just like body crouch, it's also really fast. SwiftGen also really fast with format, I think also really, they are all really fast, but on SwiftGen we can specify what files are needed. Xcode likewise should always run. And let's build again. Let's see if we are getting as many warnings as before. No localization extracted from code in directory ... sources. That's something we can definitely fix later. The app icon, set app icon has an unassigned child. All right, let's first see if this is building. Usage of collections.json has been deprecated. Please delete and collection JSON. I was not using that. So maybe we just need to clean build here. Let's also open the dev cleaner. Don't really know what it's saying here. I was not using that file. So something must be using it. Maybe we just need to clear reset package caches. Could help fix this warning. Says use recommend. Okay, there are new recommendations here. macOS app enable dead code stripping, enable code signing, enable code signing, enable dead code stripping, enable dead code stripping. All right, let's just perform these changes to make Xcode happy. And that's about it. It was building. It's just not. Yeah, it is building. And also let me go back here to macOS 12.4. We have not added anything yet, so I just want to make sure this runs on my Mac. So let's see if the app's still running. Maybe also the look of the app will have changed, but we would only see that on macOS Ventura. So we're not going to see any changes on the macOS app because I don't have Ventura installed here. Supposed to build faster, and this is not a huge project, so but it's a clean build probably. Let's quit that. All right, here's our app. It still works as expected. And pause. We have the preferences with the categories and the category groups. Everything works like before. All right, so the app is working as before and it's building, and I built from this new app target, so this is working. Let's test the iOS platform. Oh, this looks totally different now. Let's run the iPhone 13. These are really ugly. I have to definitely get rid of these warnings. And these two as well. These are our own warnings, so that doesn't count. It's just a reminder before releasing the app. Here's the iPhone. And iOS 16 simulator. Let's make this full screen so we can see side by side with Xcode. And this works. Oh, we have a new picker. Look at that. It's looking different now. And we have not changed any of our code, and that's the power of SwiftUI. Apple can just change the implementation of the underlying view, but our code still stays the same. It's cool, but I think that's fine. Then we have main and we have settings. And in here we can make these smaller, switch around between these, edit, scroll down, close these off. Yeah, it does work as expected. And we can select also these, and it does scroll. That's nice. That's cool. All right, so both are working. That means we actually don't, we actually no longer need these two targets, and I can just delete them. And that's what I'm going to do. So delete, and happiness. All right. By the way, we have this project, and we should be getting these from the project. So the project should specify iOS 16 here, and 12.4 for now, and it should be getting them from there. I hope so. That's cool. And with that, let's also set the app category. Why not? So it is a utility app, it is a productivity app. That's, I think, what it's most about. Yeah, it's not a game, no education, no developer tool. I think it's a productivity or utility app. And let's set productivity as the app category. Anything else we could do here? All right. Oh, by the way, supports multiple windows. What is it set to? Supports multiple windows. Okay, it doesn't say that anywhere here. I mean, we do support that, but I'm first going to commit the changes. That's already quite a bit of changes. New app entitlements has the same contents as macOS entitlements. And all the files that we have changed. I don't see anything that I didn't want in here. This is looking good. And we have simplified our preview variants as well. Just nice. All right. So upgrade to Xcode 14 plus merge multiple targets into one. That's basically what this commit does. All right. Maybe we should update the README. Do we have a README file? Yes, we do. Do we have any requirements here? We don't. Alright then, there is nothing to update. So let's continue with the app icon stuff. So we have now the different app icons. And the new feature of Xcode is I should be able to select here somewhere that I just want to have one app icon. So let me actually go into the Finder and just copy this iOS icon. I believe this is the original. Or is it this one? No. So this has the original size, so I'll just put that on my desktop for now. And we're just going to get rid of the app icon here entirely. Just going to add a new one. iOS app icon. Can we do also multi-platform app icon? Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's do iOS app icon. And we can't set just one here. That's really cool. And that's exactly what we need now. Let's go to desktop. I'm looking forward to Stage Manager because this is one of the things that I really hate. Now I have to like press the two things with like I'm lifting off my mouse here, and I'm just still using just to do this drag and drop thing. That's how I do it at least. And oh, that's not the macOS app. I should have. Okay, let me go back. Let me revert the. I think we need one with the. I mean, they are different, right? So let me unstage that, and let me unstage that. These are right. Yeah, this is the macOS one, and this is the iOS one. All right, let's discard the changes here. That way, we're getting back these icons in the right folder. If I go to open focus timer, app assets, app icon, these two, we need them. And I'm just going to call it app icon iOS, but it was the other way around, app icon macOS. And app icon iOS. Now we can delete them again. Let's just delete the whole app icon here. Alright. Now we can add here new app icon for iOS. Technically I could do this, of course, but I find this is, look at that. How is that useful? Like this? Yeah, okay. It's just taking too long. But this is app icon iOS, and now let's add the same for macOS. Do we need that? I guess so. This is not what I want. Alright, let me go back. App icon. Okay, I need to do something about it. So this is app icon iOS actually. And let's add one for macOS. I'm just going to call that app icon macOS. Let's just drag and drop that like that. Oh, there is no one picture variant for macOS? Single size, there we go. All sizes. WatchOS single size. There's no single size for macOS. Oh no. And now I also found how to do it properly, so let's go back. So revert everything. I was just in the wrong property there. And with everything reverted, we do have our app icon back here. Now we can just go to iOS and select single size. That way we just need this here now. Everything else here we can delete. Which one is Mac? This is Mac, this is Mac. Alright, the others have gone. Were they deleted? No, they're still there. Show in Finder. They're still around. So we no longer need... Is there any we no longer need? I mean, this is Mac, 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 Mac. iOS has just this one. iOS marketing. 16. 16 2x, 32, 128, 256, 512. 16, 32, 128. Okay, maybe we never... So nothing changed? Oh yeah, there was some changes. Okay, here, there we go. So use single size iOS app icon instead of providing each. Alright, but there was a learning again. Single size app icon not supported for macOS targets. that's interesting to see there. Another learning was definitely that build scripts now show a warning if our build scripts now have a new option called, so what was the name of that option? Based on dependency analysis. Based on dependency analysis turned on by default. This causes a warning. Solve by unchecking the box, or better, if possible, providing input and output file paths. All right, that was the two learnings there. Everything else is quite neat. I think that's the app icon thing, and we can save that as well. By the way, can we sort them? Oh wait, let me go app and edit scheme, manage schemes I mean, and just sort them by name. Does that stay here? No. Okay, the order doesn't matter anyways, as long as we can just choose the recents very easily. Okay. What did I change now? Oh no. Scheme. Okay, it was created because I edited it. Let's just put it into this thing. This last commit. Alrighty. So let's now turn on macOS Ventura. iOS 16, I mean, and macOS Ventura. So we want to switch to the full SwiftUI 4 capabilities. Therefore, I need to switch here. And this should help us simplify some of our views, I hope. So what's going to happen? Are we getting any warnings like switch to and any deprecation warnings? Okay, we still have these things here. What are they? An update to recommended settings. Project settings are valid. Usage of, let me Google that. All right, how can I check this? Visit client dev library org.swift swift pm. Maybe we could just copy the path here. Has been deprecated. Oh, it just opened the project. I should have probably done it like that. Please open the JSON file. Let's open it. Okay, it's here. Skip signature check. Okay, I have no idea what that file does. But it says that this is deprecated. Please delete it and use this new file instead. All right, let's just delete it. Let's build again. Warning's still there. Let me clean build. Let me also update the latest package versions. Let me close Xcode and iOS simulator. Let me clean all my derived data files. Okay, no warnings here so far. Let's build the app. Okay, have to make sure resolve all of them. Let's just update. Oh, what's going on now? Oh, that was interesting. Graphic card problem, I guess. Missing package product iOS entry point. Yeah, of course, the app doesn't build because it has to first check out everything. Which is, I hope, an ongoing process, is it? Let's build again. Yeah, it's building now. Build succeeded. And warnings, 42 of them. But no, okay, not this warning anymore. These are our own warnings. And we do have some stuff still left. Focus time learnings does not have an inverse. This is an advanced setting. No object can be in multiple destinations for a specific relationship. Why not? Should have an inverse. Alright, these are core data problems, and to be honest, I want to switch away from core data as soon as possible. So I'm just going to ignore these for now, but we're going to have a look at them when the time comes, so maybe I'll write them down. Fix warnings shown for core data. Semi-Beard, thank you for following, and welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Let me check why my sound alerts are not making any noise. Alright, they should be on now. Sorry for that. In the future, I should be hearing you again. And fix warnings for core data. Yeah, that's something we can do later. It's not urgent right now. The app icon set has an unassigned child. Really? 124, 124. Looks like it's no longer needed. I mean, this is also the same. So if that's the case, let's just delete that. What else do we have? We have body crash no localization extracted from code and directory sources. Truth is that we don't have any code to we do have code to transform, that's right. And it says /sources. Localized paths. Sources. This is actually sources resources. Let's keep it like that. Well, maybe this helps. Let me see. Let me run again. No, it still has the same warning here. Code. Are we using code? I don't know. I'm going to ignore that for now as well. And that's about it. Let's go on to more interesting things. I don't like the name of this, by the way, but that's just a side detail here. And what we're working on. So change new platform, that's done. We have also done a couple of other things. For example, merge, I think we had that document as well. Make use of some new APIs changed in category. Oh, not really. Let's go to our commits here. So we have upgraded to Xcode 14 and merged. Yeah, that's exactly what we did. And change target platform to macOS when to run iOS 16. Alright, so we wanted to make use of some new APIs and we fixed warnings. Upgraded to Xcode 14 and fixed new warnings. Okay, along it. Make use of some new APIs where appropriate. Yeah, this is going to be our long-term thing. I think that's not the specific task we need to do, but we're going to switch over wherever it makes sense. Changes in category groups don't communicate to the category screen yet. So let's have a look at the app and how it behaves and see this problem. So I will just be running the app in the simulator. All right, let's put this on the side of Xcode to see this side by side. Semibeard, doing well. So happy to see an iOS developer streaming on Twitch. Yeah, thank you. Just got my first iOS developer job less than a year ago. Congratulations on that. Before that, I did technical support for over 10 years. Oh, interesting. I'm loving the new career, but my job is 100% remote. I tune into streams like yours to feel like I'm amongst other coders. Thank you and keep up the great work. Thank you very much, and great to meet you. So welcome to the stream, Semibeard. I hope you'll stay around, and I hope I'm just streaming once a week, so you just find me on Fridays as I'm an indie developer. So I was working as an iOS developer for a long time. I think since 2011 I'm an iOS developer basically, and I started professionally in 2013 or 14, I don't quite remember. But so I'm around for a bit longer than you are now. So if you have any questions about anything I'm doing here, feel free to ask about that as well. And I hope that, as you said, you feel not alone. And I also feel not alone if you're in the stream. So, and that's also great if you have a question or just want to share your thoughts. Feel free to write in the chat. That's why I'm streaming. All right, so what are you working on, by the way? Are you working on, like, I don't need details, but like what kind of app is it? Is it an iOS app? Is it a Mac app? Maybe the product category that it is in? Feel free to share so I have some info about what you're working on as well. I'm working on a focus timer. That's an open source focus timer here. Let me share with you the link where you can read up more about this project. Alright, so I want to fix this, and for that, so it was changes in category groups don't communicate to the category screen. If we go to the settings, and if we do make changes to the category groups, for example, I will just rename this to project 2, save. And it doesn't reflect in categories yet, but it has changed to project 2 here. I will rename this back. Alright, so renames do work. Maybe deletes don't work. Let me add a new category group. Let's call this. So you can. Yep, my company makes iOS apps with a focus on sports. Oh, that's cool. Sports is. I think it's something that matters to everyone, for sure. And your company, so does your company have sports hardware, or is it more like a service? So is it more like a video app where you need to show videos or something like that, or is it more like an app that is accompanied with a different device and then it connects via Bluetooth or something like that? Or is it something entirely else? I don't know. Just a service. All right, that's nice. Sports is always important, so it's nice to be working there. I guess you get maybe something for free from your service. I don't know. Maybe you have that. I worked on an app agency before, in an app agency, and we also did 2 fitness-related apps. And one of them actually gave us a lifetime subscription to. It was like a fitness service, something like Apple TV, like a Fitness Plus. And they gave us lifetime subscription, so I still have that code. but I don't think it works anymore, so I can't really use it. But at least while we were working on that project, we were using it for fun. That was nice. Dog fooding, right? Where you use your own app that you're writing. All right, so let's create a new group here. I'm just going to call it group. I'm not really, I don't feel very creative right now. And group, okay, this is a project. So when we create a new one, it does not show in this list. So maybe that's what was meant there. So we need to communicate that somehow. Let's get into our code. So this is our settings category group. And let's close this. Let's actually hide that. We can still use it here from sidebar, right? Okay, I have another screen there. Okay, this does not work for me. Let's find the right place first. Alright, so when we are editing them, it's edit settings, category group, settings, edit category group is the detail screen. So this is not where we want to go, but maybe we can communicate from here. Something happens to the other place. So basically, the question is, what is the common ancestor of these two things? And unfortunately, we don't have a navigation graph kind of thing. Maybe that's an app that somebody should work on to have, like, for a TCA architecture, which I'm using here, to have like a graph that shows you the navigation stack, how everything is connected together. I think that's a really cool idea, actually. Let me write that down. I think I had that once already. A navigation glue graph for TCA. For visual analysis, basically. But we can I have it more or less in my mind. So we are opening up this, the settings screen, right? And in the settings screen, we are connecting the categories and the category groups. This the categories, the category groups. We don't have anything for general connected yet because we don't have a screen for that. But the categories and category groups are connected. And what I want to do is I want to change the state of the categories when the state of category groups changes. And the cool thing is about the TCA architecture that because we are gluing the code like this, you can see here that I actually, in the reducer of the settings, which is the whole thing here, I'm getting the actions that are sent from anything that's shown below inside of here. So I'm getting also the settings category actions and the settings category groups actions. So the question is, what actions are we getting when we create or delete stuff here? And we can quickly find that out because we're using enums here. So let's just go settings category groups action, and we get create new category group button pressed, delete category group button pressed, delete category group confirmed. I guess that's where we delete it. Edit category group has, okay, this is the edit category view, so we can even go into that. And there is also a button press there. Edit category group button press, okay, and set edit category is presented. So in the edit category group, we do have, I guess, another level. Oh, edit category group action. Why is color completion not working? But here we have delete button pressed, cancel button pressed, and delete button confirmed, and we have save button pressed. All right, so we have these things, and we could jump into this and say like, okay, we act on that. But instead of doing that, I actually want to make it more clear. So I want to go into the settings category groups here. And inside of here, I want to add into the actions. So these are the possible actions that can happen inside of category groups. I just want to add here these things that they happened. So a case would be, maybe we just want to say category groups changed. That's probably all we need. So something like, yeah, category groups changed. Why not? So anytime something happens in here where these data change, we're just going to call into this. And we of course need to do it in the action handler. Let's go to the reducer to cover that first. So edit category group handled by child reducer, and we have category groups changed. This is, we don't need to do anything here because this is handled by parent reducer. All right, and then we have here the different actions that can happen. Edit category group, save button press. Set edit category is present false. So where are we actually saving? Where's the saving logic? Delete category confirmed. Okay, here we are deleting something. So here you can see we have actually deleted, and then we say reload data. And I think it does make sense to also call into that the data has changed here. So we can basically say return this, but merge it with this other thing that we're going to send here as well, which is category groups changed. And instead of returning none here, we're going to return category groups changed. Oops. All right, so now we are forwarding here when something gets deleted. So delete category group when that is confirmed. But when else? I mean, how is the save happening? It looks like it's not happening inside of here. Probably is happening inside of the edit category group action handler then. Yes, save button press. So when this is pressed, it's happening. And what we want to do is now override that in the reducer here. Save edit category group handled by child reducer. Thank you for following Joe. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How's your day? Let me change the... Okay. So edit category groups, action, and then here we have the save button pressed, and when this happens, basically we know that again, doing well, excited to see some code. Nice, nice. Are you a developer yourself? Why is the autocompletion not working now? But I have to just pass the category groups changed. All right, so this forwards that as well. Okay, is this already handled by previous patterns? Or is it? Let me check that. Yeah, it's happening here. All right, so I have to get into that instead. Edit category group save button pressed. Ah, okay. So instead of just returning this one, I'm going to call into merged and have multiple effects going on. We're just going to move this inside of here and also call category groups change. So now we are informing whenever edit category groups are saved or when they are deleted here and there. We're making sure to inform anybody who has access here that this change has happened. An aspiring one, nice. Are you learning Swift? Is that what you're learning? Is that what you why you are here in the Swift programming session and not another one? And if you are a Swift developer, have you enjoyed wwdc? Do you know about wwdc? All right. Instead of going into these now, we can just say category groups changed. Now we know that the data has changed, and then we need to just update our view. And to do that, we're going to go into our action handler and actually add something here that has some logic. So func category groups changed. And we're going to have a break first. Let me read, let me quickly make a pause. Yep, I do. I happen to work in Cupertino. Wow. basically across the street from Apple. Wow, that's nice. So that's something that I envy you. Of course, I would love to be there. And I guess you had a great week then last week. I tuned in a bit. Wow, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. That's nice, but I'm going to have a quick break here, and then I'll be back in 5 minutes, and then we can talk a little longer about that if you're around. All right, see you there. All right, I'm back, and I hope Jojo is still around. I don't know if that's your name, but I'm going to call you that. And I want to know from you, because you said you are basically working in Cupertino. And you tuned in a bit. Does that mean you saw Craig Federighi, Tim, or anyone else like from there? Like Phil maybe, I don't know, who was around? Have you been there? Did you get inside? Even maybe that's where you could probably meet them. But yeah. Also, what are you learning? Like, is there anything specific you're learning right now? As you said, you're an aspiring. You're learning Swift, yeah, but are you learning app development with SwiftUI, or is it UI kit? Let me know. While I'm getting into this, category groups changed. All right, so when that happens, we want to update the state. See what data we have here. Settings, categories, state, category groups, state, and we're initializing it from the context. Actually, we want to inform this about something. So maybe we can change the state in here. Category groups, yeah, this is what we need to change. How does it set up? Try context fetch. So this is how it works. Do we have the context available in our reducer here? Maybe not, but we can definitely write a function here and just say public func refresh category groups. Something like that. And then this is a mutating one, so and then we just do what we are doing here, which is very simple, but for that we need to store the context, actually, what we're not doing at the moment. So let's add that as well. Can we store the context though? I think not. I don't think it conforms to equatable. All right, so we have to pass the context in here. And then we're just going to set self.category groups to that. And when we change the category group, do we need to also change the categories by group? Yeah, looks like it. So we need to refresh everything here. Reload data. I will call it reload data. And then we're just going to do this entire thing here inside. And maybe we can also just call it from in here, self.reload data. I'm not really sure about that because we have to set these to some values, right? Oh, it does work. All right, but we have to make this, should this be throwing? Oh no, we just added into, okay, we were having a do catch here anyways. So let's just move the whole do catch around. And then self.reload data, oops. With the context. Is that build? Yeah, I know that because we have to first set these values. I think the easiest solution is just go like this. That should work. And then the selected group is the first. Alright, so we need to additionally make sure that we have the right one selected. Nope, why is that not working? Because, okay, we need to first set that as well. Okay, then that will not work. Then we just duplicate the code. It's not that bad. Maybe we can extract okay, you know what? We can extract some portion. I'm just seeing that the only try part is this here. Okay, so we will extract it differently. So I will extract this part. This is going to be a private method, or just, yeah, I'm going to be private. This is fetch category groups logic, basically, from context. And it returns an array of category group. And this is throwing. Then we can basically have this try here still. Or we just handle it inside there. No, we should do it like that. Alright, so this just needs to call fetch category groups then. Come on. Okay, the auto-completion is not as stable yet in the Xcode 14 beta, which we're using here. Oh, we can't reference self here, so let's make this... Can we make this a public method? Yeah, private static func. Then maybe we should place it differently. And this should work with self now. Try self fetch category groups. There we go. So the logic is extracted. It's easier to reuse it here now, which we can do simply by calling self.fetch category groups. Oh, come on. And we pass the context. There we go. Category groups. This is the logic for getting category groups, so let's also put that here. This is fetch categories by group. Context in its managed object context, and I guess we need to pass the category groups. And the return type is category group modulo category. All right, this is variable categories by group of this return type. Starting empty here. Now let's make this a bit more readable. Like that. And we have the categories by group here. It's empty at the start, and we're setting each value here by walking through the category groups. That's it, I think. It's basically the logic here, and we could just reuse it here and just say self dot categories fetch categories by group context self the category groups. There we go. Now we can reuse that here as well. And then the duplicate code is not that bad. We have a try here that's missing. Alright, that should be it. Nope, something's wrong. Okay, we forgot to return the categories by group. And of course something else is failing as well, somewhere else. Unexpected comma. Oh yeah, because this is not an array, this is what are they called? With the dot 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 syntax. And now we have to handle that here, and basically what we're trying to do with the whole State thing is we want to go into state, although we want to do that in the action handler here. So let's call the action handler. And settings, category groups, change category groups changed. Category groups changed. Alright, and then in here we can go into state, get the settings category state, and just call reload data and provide it a context, which I hope we have access to here. Match object context, there we go. And then we return none. That's it. Should be what we need to do. There you go. Let's run the app and see if the update works as expected. So we're going here, and we do have 3 here. And I expect the group to be deleted now. And I just noticed or remembered that we do have a logic for selection also. Let's fix that as well. So in the action handler, no, in the state itself it was. Not this state. Settings category state, there we go. So it is setting a selected group also. And when we change them, the selected might be deleted, so we should handle that as well. And I'm just going to check if self.selected group is deleted. There you go. Core data has us covered here. Then I'm just going to reselect one. I'm just going to say same logic as above here. And we should also copy this comment in case there's no groups. We need to fix that as well later here. I'm going to just select the first one like that. All right. Now I want to see how this handles stuff, if everything works as expected. All right, so I'm going to delete this group here, and I want to select it also to see if that works. So I'm just going to say here and delete, confirm, and our app is crashing. View store categories by group, state selected group. All right, it's trying to render with the selected group and we have not changed it yet. In that case, maybe. All right, I want to know if our thing is getting called before the crash or afterwards, because that's going to matter. So if we are in the action handler here, if this gets called before the crash, or maybe we should even go into the details here. If this specifically gets called before the crash, then I'm going to be confused, but if it's happening after the crash, then of course it makes sense. Because after deleting the selected group, if the selected group is being re-rendered, things are not great. Well, that's another one. Add another one, test. And this is getting called right here when I add one. Let's see if that is going to have any problems. No, it doesn't. So, and it's added here. So now we have it here. And if I was deleting it, I guess without selecting it, there wouldn't be a crash. Yeah, it's getting called. And there's no crash. It just gets deleted as expected. Let me create another new one. It's getting called. It's getting added. Now I want to select this and now delete this. Alright, so we get into here. Okay, so this is not deleted yet because we don't get into this thing here. Alright, so that's the issue. So basically what we want to do actually is not ask for is deleted. Instead, we want to just check if self.category_groups contains self.selected group. I think that's the safest bet. Let's retry. I'm guessing that this already fixes the issue. So let's create a new category group. And now select that and delete it again. Ah, we're still running into the issue. Let me just check if this is getting called. Should have put the breakpoint there right from the start. Your code looks so nice. Oh, thank you. I don't think that it looks very nice. Look at this. Just look at this. There's still a lot of things to improve here, but thank you. Anyways, I'm trying to write good code, of course. And it's definitely a question of preference. If you like my code, I'm using the composable architecture. So, and I have not cleaned up things yet. I'm going to clean up things over time. This is just trying to get the app working first, which is always the main focus for the start, I guess, for every app. Okay, so this is getting called before we get into the crash. So I'm expecting that this is getting set to something that we actually have. So the re-rendering shouldn't actually crash. That's weird. Oh, it did not crash. Oh, I forgot to select it. Oh no, we just created. Oh no, sorry. Sorry for that. I just missed it because I was talking with chat. But of course, now it was crashing. And yeah, it is not getting called. It is crashing before it's getting called. The question is, why is that the case? That's really weird, but that's how it is. I want to know if the handler here is getting called. Maybe the reloading takes some time, and then maybe that's the issue, that we have a delay there. This is the group. And of course it does get called now. Let's select the group. Now let's delete it again. Yes, this is getting called, but it's refreshing before we're getting into our logic. Where is it? Our logic in here. I guess that this is these calls are taking some time, and before all these updates, it's already refreshing the view. All right, so I think we need to make this check at the start, but we can't do it because we have not refreshed the category groups yet. How do we know if we can show that? Okay, we can try to fix the crash itself, just preventing it from crashing. So it's crashing because, okay, yeah, because we force unwrapping here. We're expecting that the category group still contains the selected group. Okay, let's make this code safer. So we're just going to say if let view store, if let what we want to have here. View store category is the categories by group. It's the category of the selected group. Categories of the select. So selected group categories. That's what we're doing here. And we get it through the view store. Categories by groups, by group of the view store state selected group. And we're just going to not force unwrap here. That way the crash shouldn't happen. Instead, the worst thing that can happen is that while rendering a view for a very short time where we are loading the data from core data, it's just going to show something empty. So that's what I do else. Or I just don't put anything into else, and then it should be empty. And this is this thing, and then I just basically say if the selected group categories is empty, I render this here, and else we were walking through them, right? Select the group, we were force unwrapping here. All right, let's just move it into an else. Yeah, I think it makes sense. If it's not empty, we're going to show the data from there, but we no longer have to force unwrap this thing here. Instead, we have the selected group categories now. And this is weird. How it indents stuff sometimes. But I think that's it. Now we can remove these, and this should hopefully fix the crash. Let's make Swift format happy here. And yet again, I'm going to create a new group. New group. By the way, maybe we should add an enter thing here. This is creation, and we select it, and then we delete it while being selected. And the app no longer crashes, but the view doesn't update as I expected to update. What's going on now? Okay, so the reducer of this view is being called first. So it updates itself, and then I'm calling it from, okay, so the issue is we are in the settings reducer here. We are first calling the settings categories reducer. If I move this down below this reducer of the settings itself, it will probably fix this, but then in some other situations we might run into problems. Because this is basically called after this is refreshing its view. That's what I'm guessing now. And mostly because this is not changing anything, because we're returning none here. Can we return something that is going to make sure that we do have something changed? Let's just, I don't know what we can do here. Settings, categories. Maybe we could do the selection as a separate step. Like when we refresh, we select as the next step. I think that is going to solve the issue. Yes, okay. So we need here in this settings category actions, a way to change the selection. Set edit category action, settings edit category action, edit category button press, delete category. How are we, this is the selection, settings category state. Is it? How can we change the selection of these things programmatically? Let's see how the view looks here. So we have a picker, and it's using selected group. There we go. So select, this is what we need of the settings category state. So we need to set this. This is a bindable state. So we don't have an action to set that. Maybe we should add an action to do that. Set selected group, something like that. Yeah, let me add that. But this is a binding. It is a bindable state, so it has an action. It has an action, it's just called differently. And it is called via set key path. Is it that? Constructs a binding action for the given key path? I think so. So we just say selected tab, and we set it to whatever the new data is. And it is being set here. Maybe it should be set here instead. I should just do something like that in here. Oops. Okay, so we say if the category contains state, okay, we are in a different place here, but this is state.settings category state dot category groups. Oh wait, settings. Oh, is it internal? Settings categories state. Yeah, settings category. There we go. Let's make them public here. I just need to read that. And I just need to set this. Alright, this could help. But that's not good. Maybe we should keep them internal. Instead, we should just make an update method here. And just say public mutating func set selected group. Self.select group is selected group. I'm not really happy about that because we need to still keep the logic here that we had before. Oh, you know what? Let me revert this all. I think we need to fix it differently. I think this was correct. This should stay here. If that contains. But it's the other way around. If it doesn't contain, oh, that's the issue probably. If it doesn't contain, we want to change it. Yeah. And the selected group at the start is not set to anything. And then it's set to the first, alright. And then each time we update it, only if the currently selected one is not existent in the category groups anymore, we're setting a new one. Alright, this makes sense. And now we should be able to go back and simplify this back to just return none. Alright, let me try again. And select it and delete it. There we go, we fixed the issue with the crash, and we made it select the first one if the currently selected one is no longer there. Ravi387, thank you, welcome to the stream. Can you share your opinion on V programming? V programming? What is V programming? Sorry, I have no idea what V programming is. Maybe you can elaborate more on that, then I can answer your question. I don't understand it. But we have just made sure that we update this now. And whenever something changes here, and I think they are now working pretty well together. One issue we still have is if you delete all categories and groups, you will run into problems because we're currently expecting at least one there. But that's a different issue to fix, and we have already a comment for that. A developer warning in our apps, so that's going to be fixed like that. But let's commit this first. It is programming language. It is V is a programming language. I have no idea about V. Programming language V. So I can't really say anything about that. Oh, there you go. Simple, fast, safe, compiled for developing maintainable software. No undefined values. Why no? No undefined behavior. That's interesting. Fast as C. So what use cases do you have for something like this? So they develop Doom in it. 300 kilobyte Slack client written in V. I do remember this. I think I have seen this sometime, but I never really understood it or never really went full into it. So I don't really have an opinion, but it looks like an interesting new language for sure. I'd say start with Google just like Gia did. President Not Sure One, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Is V still fast? So let me go to GitHub actually. Let me change it. Check out. Where is the GitHub link? Ah, this is the GitHub link. 29K, that's nice. So who's developing that? This is Yui. Let me check the insights here. All right, so there. This is a community definitely already around that. It sure looks an interesting language. I just don't know what use cases this really good in, and if there is like a major platform that this is being really great at. But it looks like it has a lot of capabilities that could be interesting to some specific use cases. So are you using it yourself, Ravi? And how do you like it? And how are you using it? And why did you bring this up? Is there a specific reason you think that this should be looked at? So let me know. Let's get back to this app though. And I was just about to make a commit with these changes because we have basically, let me put everything into the stage and check here. We have deleted the warning. Fixed the warning by deleting the unnecessary stuff here. Updated dependencies, also some updates here, which are all fine. It all built perfectly. macOS target changed, yes. This is the new method. New action. New state with the helper methods. There you go. This is the new safer logic for preventing the crash. New inform action. Then we are forwarding that or causing that inform action to inform the other view that something has changed, and category groups has changed. Is being ignored in the reducer itself because it's handled by the parent reducer. It's all looking nice. I'm using V since 6 or 7 days, I guess. All right, so what are you using it for, and how did you come by V? Like, how did you find out about it, and why did you start using it? Is there a specific thing that it's really good at, or yeah, how did you explore, how did you find out about it? What was the thing that people marketed you with? I'll be interested in that as well. Maybe it's like the next big thing, you never know. Code Hub, welcome to the stream. Hey everyone, how are you doing? How's your day? How was your week? All right, so I think we can copy the thing from here because changes in categories don't communicate to category screen yet. We can rephrase this and communicate changes in category groups to categories. That's basically what this commit does. All right, let's push this and move this to the changes in category, communicate to the category screen. All right. Next, fix warnings shown for core data and fix more warnings. Let's have a look actually at the code. Maybe we can apply something from SwiftUI 4, which we have now around. So let me just check if there's anything in particular that maybe we could use. For example, yeah, we have navigation view here, and I think we can replace it now. The interesting thing is we're not getting any warnings for that, so I'm really curious how Apple is deprecating navigation view. But we now have navigation stack and navigation list view, I think, or split view, sorry. I'm fine, thanks. I'm new around here and I'm glad I found your stream. Yeah, welcome to the stream. And are you an iOS developer as well, a Swift developer? Or are you developing something else? Or just hopping around different code languages? Are you working in an agency? Is that what your name is, Code Hop? You're hopping around between different projects? Is that what your name is about? Yeah, so I want to apply this here, and we do see that this is the Mac one, and it has a sidebar view and content view. On iOS, we're creating a quite different one. We should actually rename this to Mac entry point. Or are we using it here as well? Ah, we are using it. This is a sidebar of it. All right, so on iOS, we actually want to have a navigation stack. So I'm going to just replace this with navigation stack, the new view we have. And it should be just put in a replace kind of thing. Navigation stack is only available in iOS 16 or newer, but we have specified iOS 16 or newer, so that should be fine. Yeah. Why is this a problem? Probably because we have to set it here as well. Oh yeah, okay, iOS 16, macOS 13. I hope this compiles. Not really sure if it will compile. Nope, it does not. Let's switch to SwiftTools 5.7. Does it compile now? This is looking better. All right. Now this shouldn't be a problem anymore. There you go. So this is the main feature. Let's refresh. Let's work with previews. I'm going to, close the iOS simulator instead. Oh yeah, of course I ended it. That's why. Let's see the preview instead. Well, I'm hopping between Android and iOS projects in the last 7 years and currently in a higher level mobile dev in a startup in the EU. That's nice. So you are an Android and iOS developer then? I also started doing Android development, and you can find the only project I have fully done on GitHub. It's called Fitness Tracker. So if you just search for Fitness Tracker, you should be able to find my open source app. Here it is, Fitness Tracker Android. I wrote this app 2 or 3 years ago because I started doing Android development. I really want to learn it, so I wanted to write an app, and it's also on the Play Store. You can check that out. It's written in Kotlin, and Jetpack Compose wasn't around back then though, so I used like Room and things like that, and tried to do basically write a best practice app there. I didn't like the networking on Kotlin side, so actually in the company I worked on, we rewrote a library for networking, and it's called Macria Kotlin. This is basically, oh, why can't I find it? Search it like that. There you go, Macria Kotlin. And this is basically the way in iOS world with Moya networking is done, and I prefer that, and we just re-implemented that in Kotlin. So if you're interested in that, maybe check that out as well. But I didn't use in my app that you just saw, I didn't use any networking. And just when we worked on an app at the business, at the job that I was working for, I basically explained them how the iOS networking stuff is, in my opinion, better than the Android networking stuff. We basically don't have type safety and things like that. And we just brought that in with that Macria library. So we have that now on iOS, on Swift, which I developed myself, and in Kotlin, which my team developed with some help from me, where I basically explained how it works. And yeah, that's maybe my Android background there. And I am still interested in Android, but with Jetpack Compose coming around and SwiftUI, I basically had to learn SwiftUI first, which is I'm still kind of learning. So there's still a lot of learning going on there. And as soon as I'm feeling like, okay, now I have a good feeling for iOS development with SwiftUI again, and I know how to navigate, I know how to store persist data and things like that. All the basics are changing right now, right? As soon as that's all feels right again, I will go back to Android development as well, and I will be trying to, I'm an indie developer now, I'll be trying to provide Android apps for the iOS apps that I'm working on. Basically, that's my plan. Sure, check it out. Not sure if it's going to be for you, because I know Android developers really like their retrofit, and I personally don't like retrofit because of like the missing type safety, basically. And I like the auto-completion nature and the flexibility, especially. You can like have one structure, and then you can flexibly change the different calls you want to make, whereas in retrofit you always have to write, for each call you have to write a new function and things like that. It's just the way I prefer to do things. Alright, but we were trying to use navigation stack. I can already see a difference here. So it is now showing the sidebar at the top and the main content at the bottom. So that's different. Because it expects, okay, because this is not a navigation split view. So let me try navigation split view. This is basically what it was rendering as before, I guess. Oh, okay, I need to provide detail then. This is now more clear. So this is the sidebar, and the content is now called detail. Something like that. Is that built now? Oh, CodeHub, thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much. That's so much appreciated. Thank you very much. Hype's going on. Great, it's been a while. I'm not getting a subscription because I was also streaming during WWDC the whole week. And during that week, like everybody was watching WWDC videos and things like that. And also, by the way, for the people who have joined in later on, so I have been streaming the whole WWDC week. And I actually have on my YouTube channel, which you can find by just searching for Flying Dev. And make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. You can find all the sessions I watched, and it's 21 sessions, here in this playlist. And I watched quite a bit of them, and each of them has not only an introduction where I start opening and prepare everything, and then a watch along. So you can, if you want, just open the same video and watch alongside me and see how I'm taking notes while watching that. So you can basically see that. Or if you don't have the time for doing that, or you just don't want to do that, you can just skip to the notes and summary. You can also find a link here right away. And you can basically just watch how I go through my notes and summarize the whole session. So that's how you can save a lot of time. And there's a thing how you can even save more time. And that's a Twitter thread that I wrote. So if you're not following me on Twitter, make sure to do that as well. I basically wrote a session summary tweet for every single session that I have watched in the last week. And you can find this here. So let me maybe post a link right into the chat. Let me see. Copy link to a tweet. There we go. And basically you can find here, if you just scroll through this thread, all sessions like this is what's new in Xcode with the key takeaways that I think you can learn there, plus some images that are just showing off the takeaways, or just adding even more content if I wanted to add more content. And that's how you can learn about a lot of the things, not all the things, but a lot of the things that were presented on .DC, just by going through a Twitter thread. And you can also learn easily which session you might be actually interested in watching yourself, because you see that, this is interesting, I want to know more. And that way you can basically learn that. Or you just click this link, which is going back to my YouTube channel, directly to the place where I'm starting to talk about the summary already. So quick reminder of that. And now let's get back to the project here. We have just 4 minutes left, but I see this is not refreshing. Oh yeah, incorrect argument label and call. Expected sidebar and detail. Oh, it is explicitly called sidebar and detail. Oh, not details. All right, should work now. And this is looking now again as before, where we just see this and not this. On iOS, I think we don't want to have this. On macOS, I think we do want to have this. Is there a way to tell it that? Or do we want to keep the sidebar on iOS as well? And we don't have any entries there yet, that's why we don't see anything. I guess we can keep it like that, but we are replacing navigation view by navigation split view. Let's replace them all. Do we have any other? Yes, we do. So we have navigate. Okay, this is just in the previews. But even here, I think what we want to have here, category selector. This is a category selector. Let's actually see what this looks like. I don't quite have a context for this right now. Yeah, it doesn't build, of course. Like the preview doesn't work. Maybe try once more. Does the module itself build? Yes, it does. And after building, sometimes the preview does work, so let's try one more time. Okay, it does not work. But we do have a doctor symbol here. Expect a string of a warning directive. Oh, alright, this is because of the warning. Very interesting. Okay, that's a weird one. Let's go to the other ones first. So this is also in the preview. Okay, this is actually in a view, and it's in the timer feature. Let's go there and try to build that. Build succeeded. Let's refresh the preview. All right, now we can do something here, and this is in the sheet when edit categories button is pressed. So we click edit categories, and then we have this, and then when we select one of them on iOS, we're showing a navigation view, but actually it's not showing a navigation view. Timer action category selector. Right, it's not doing what I thought it would do. So I'm not really sure if we really need that. And preview is also crashing, probably related to this. But this is interesting, and the navigation view, can we replace it by navigation stack? What will happen then? Let's try that out. So it does build. Let's see if the preview does any have any differences to before. No, this is basically the same thing. And if we were using navigation split view, this wouldn't work. So navigation stack is definitely the right replacement here. This is definitely iOS. And same here. And the break, okay, this is the third already, so this is getting to an end of the stream. Let me finish off this thing here. So we're changing here also to navigation stack for the reflection stream. Yeah, this does make sense. This just adds this thing here at the top. I think that's why I added that, to just have the title. And likewise, yeah, this is also the same view, reflection view, and there's the category selector where it makes sense. Okay, just replacing them all by navigation stack. And just by navigation split view, because this is supposed to be used basically on the Mac OS with a split view, and it has a sidebar, and we want to keep that logic also on iOS. And I think that's basically replace usages of navigation view by navigation stack or split view. Let's put it like that. All right. That's that last commit. Let me copy that over to our summary. And so that was it for the stream. Let me summarize again what we did today. So we upgraded first from our project from Xcode 13 to Xcode 14, where we had a couple of issues coming up, especially related to build script, which was new for me. They didn't really mention it, I think, in the Xcode what's new in Xcode session. At least I don't remember. But we fixed them. That was not a big deal. But we learned definitely that it makes sense to keep your build time up, to provide always the input paths and output paths if you know which files you're going to have as input or output. And then Xcode can basically make sure that when the input paths don't change, that it doesn't even run the build script, because it doesn't have to run it. Then merged multiple targets. Yes, we had, just to go back here, so we had before this stream, we had here two targets, which was macOS app and iOS app, and now we have one target with iPhone, iPad, and Mac. All, yeah, we have them all here, and it just works. Makes things simpler. And less duplicate code, like build scripts. We just have them on one time now. Change target platform version to macOS Ventura on iOS 16. That's correct. We can build on iOS 16. On Ventura, we can't build at the moment because basically my Mac is not updated to Ventura yet, and this is my main Mac, so I will not be doing that anytime soon. Changes in category groups communicate to the category screen. Yeah, we fixed that issue and basically made the logic there better. And welcome to the stream, Australian government. You're coming quite late because I'm going to make a close here. I'm currently summarizing. Thank you for following. I'm not sure if I understand your question right. I'm going to deny that. But if you have any coding related question, feel free to ask. So let me continue the summary here. Replace usages of navigation view by navigation stack and split view. So we have two views now. Basically, navigation view was split into two, and both of them also have now more capabilities like navigation destination. And we're going to figure that out also in the next streams. So I'm going to fully use iOS 16 SwiftUI 4 here in the stream until we are ready with this app to be released, which is not going to happen before September anyway. So yeah, that's that. Learnings. Do you know how to put a script inside a image? No, I have no idea how to put a script inside an image. Also, I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do. So learnings from today. First, Xcode Previews. Combining color scheme variants and in a custom way was not possible, so I'm going to definitely make sure that I file a bug report or a feedback to Apple for that. So I'm talking about here when we are in the previews. Let me go to the timer. What? Ah. Always these shortcuts. All right, so when we are in the timer feature here, and we want to see that here. All right, I have to block you. I'm really sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. You seem like to be a bot or something. All right. Let's block. And what I was talking about is basically here we can have different color schemes, which is nice. We can also have the different dynamic type variants, which is really great. But we can't combine them. We can't say like, hey, I want to have on the right the dark version, on the left the light version, and then just free of those sizes or something like that. I'm going to definitely report a feedback for that. Yeah, but maybe that kind of content I don't really want to have here, Australian government. All right, so I will continue here, and then we're going to close the stream anyways. Xcode Previews, multi-select in a different device at the top, so we can see all previews selected once. So I also have these 3 different devices, and I want to see them all side by side. And it would be really cool if I just could have shift click, for example, or command click, and it would just multi-select them and show them all together. That would be amazing. I'm going to file that feedback as well. Build scripts now have a new option called based on dependency analysis. That's what we learned today. That might be a tweet maybe I will be posting with a learning there. Single size app icon not support on macOS. That's really interesting to know because I expected it to work on all platforms, but it only works on iOS and watchOS. It's not working on macOS, unfortunately. And a navigation glue graph for TCA for visual analysis will be really, really great. That will be a nice app idea. So let's put app idea there. All right, that's it from this stream. And as always, don't forget to, if you're interested in the content that I'm also writing, I'll be having a Swift Evolution Monthly next up, which I'm going to write next week. So if you're not following me here on Medium yet, make sure to follow. And also I have this newsletter. You can also subscribe to the newsletter. It's all free. SE monthly, let me just show you. .flyingdev.com. So you can basically get informed about the latest developments on Swift Evolution. I'm basically going through everything that's happening on Swift Evolution, trying to summarize all the changes that are coming right there. And you can just get that as an email, or just read it on the website. And don't forget to subscribe also and follow on Twitter, where I have the summary thread, for example, which I already talked about. And we are still not here on the YouTube channel. We're still not on 100 subscribers, so it would really great if you could help me there by just subscribing for free, of course. So we get the 100 subscribers, so I can finally change my name to a proper name. That's a limitation by YouTube. I can't do that before. Yeah, okay. That's it from my side. All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like this video right now. And everyone else, thank you for joining in, everybody who has been joining in. And I will be checking if there's another developer so we can rate them on Twitch, so you can continue watching. And if nobody's online, I'm sorry for that. So have a nice weekend, everybody. Have a nice day, and see you all next time. Bye.